guys, it's TEW2016 here and welcome to the latest edition of TNA Making an Impact. We're on a road to Against All Odds, in fact just 1 week removed from the pay-per-view. Hopefully again we can get some matchups looking a bit more clearer this week before we'll go through the full card next week. There's a few storylines where I'm kind of like, don't want to dive into them too much. I think I'm maybe looking too far ahead and trying to place stuff together for lockdown. But I've got some interesting ideas which will more so take place in next week's show, but it will give us a better idea of the card going forward. So we've sold out the place we're going to be at. It's going to be hopefully a full 5,000. Probably jinxed it now. We've taken up the full 125 minutes that are allocated. And yeah, hopefully a good show that you guys, hopefully, will enjoy as we continue to try and tell some stories. So let's crack on with the show. So we did sell it out, didn't jinx it, thankfully, in the Oakdale Theatre. And we start the show off with Bobby Lashley cutting a promo on Mike Bennett. You know, he's sick and tired of the chaos and shenanigans that him and Brian Cage have caused him and his friend Rey Mysterio. So he's just saying, you know, once he does get his hands on him, when they do meet, that Lashley is going to make Bennett's life a living hell. This gets a very good B+86 again, so Lashley's been knocking out the park with some promos. They get the show off to a strong start, got the crowd hotter, and the segment gained some heat on the storyline. And basically one of our 50% owners for TNA, Brandy Reynolds, decides that she's going to come out and she says, Bobby Lashley, it's great you're making threats and all that, but you know, we need you in competition and we need to give EC3 some competition, so tonight you're going to square off in our main event in a one-on-one match. So it's a C62 there for Brandy Rhodes as she announces our main event for this evening. And after this we then have the team of Mike Bennett and Brian Cage in action as they team up to take on the Bro-Men. And about they had some subpar wrestling and little heat. It was the team of Mike Bennett and Brian Cage who defeated the Bro-Men in 8 minutes and 2 when Brian Cage defeated Jesse by pinfall with a pump handle facebuster. In terms of in-ring work, Mike Bennett was head and shoulders above everyone else, and Jesse was a weak link. The rating's okay. It's obviously two guys we're trying to give a good push to, two guys that are more putting people over at the moment. Unfortunately, both Bennett and Cage were off their game, although they show excellent chemistry as a tag team. 39 for Robbie E, a 28 for Jesse, 50 for Brian Cage, and a very good 60 for the Miracle Mike Bennett. No skill improvements here, but some good momentum to be carried on by Bennett and Brian Cage. A lot of negatives, mostly for Jesse. Next up, Kenny Omega says, Ricochet, you want your X Division match, you're going to get it eventually, but why don't you prove you can beat someone in the BC when you take on its newest member in the US stable, Yujiro Takahashi. So D+52, the X Division storyline advances and loses heat as we lead up to Ricochet versus Takahashi. And the matchup itself was decent. Ricochet defeats him in 7:45 with a standing shooting star press. You get a C65 rating. The match get the crowd hotter. Ricochet with 55, Takahashi with 65. I did say in the comments section when I asked, Takahashi's here to put people over. The guy has 62 overness in the States, so capitalise on that and build some of our stars up over them. No skill improvements, but it's a good win there for Ricochet. Takahashi's a little bit fatigued, but as I say, it helps this storyline as we get ready for Ricochet's next match with Kenny Omega. We then have a promo between Sienna, Brittany Knight and Tanya, obviously frustrated from last week where Ali defeated Tanya, and they're just saying, you know, this won't happen again. We're going to show we're the most dominant knockouts, not just in TNA, but in professional wrestling. And they're in 6 knockout tag team action, and then about that has some subpar wrestling and little heat. Brittany Knight, Sienna and Tanya defeat the team of the Beautiful People and Kellyanne English in 6:30 when Tanya defeated Angelina Love with a roaring elbow. In terms of in-ring work, Brittany was head and shoulders above everyone else. The rating's okay, it's not great, but it's again building them up. Kellyanne with 31, a 34 for Velvet Sky, and a 33 for Angelina Love. So it's pretty decent for Kellyanne there, considering she's new to TNA, and we could definitely build her up. Tanya with 41, 47 for Sienna, and a 62 for Brittany Knight. Velvet Sky improves performance skills, but overall a good win for our heel knockouts. Next up in a decent matchup, Kenny Omega getting ready for his matchup coming up soon, defeats Jay Lethal in 11:42 by pinfall, illegally using the ropes for leverage, a C plus 70, Jay Lethal with a strong 73 in-ring performance, Omega with a 47, but it's kind of these kind of people that they need to be scoring upsets, victories over if they want to get their overness over in the States. So no skill improvements, a bit of a shock victory, but it shows if he cheats, Kenny Omega can beat anyone. Next up, we've got a promo from the American Wolves. It does say the tag team storylines advanced here isn't tag team related. Basically, excuse me. Basically here, Kenny Omega, David Richards, and Eddie Edwards saying, we've done well as a tag team, but let's see how we both do in singles action. So one of them will be in action this week, the other will be in action next week. They want to see if they can maybe have a better run as solo competitors. So C-57 promo there, not amazing. But this week it was Eddie Edwards in action, and about had decent wrestling, but didn't have much heat. Eddie Edwards defeated Eli Drake in 7:44 with a forward lung blower. C64 pretty decent. Eddie Edwards with 67. Eli Drake with 44. Eli Drake improving flying skills, but basically a matchup here, again putting someone over, giving them a lot of momentum, and basically not really wanting to give away a lot of kind of big matches just on television. So a good one there for Eddie Edwards. We'll see where this storyline goes going forward. Next up and about, they had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Chris Jericho and Beer Money defeated Bram and the Decay in 9:43 when Chris Jericho defeated Crazy Steve by pinfall via the Codebreaker. B-74, not too bad there. A good win for the babyfaces as well. Rosemary with some good work at ringside. Bobby Roode with 73, James Storm with 50, Jericho with a superb 79, Bram with 71, Crazy Steve with 49, and Abyss with 72. Continues both our storylines, Decay are drunk and the Best versus Bram storylines, both of which gained a good bit of heat. And overall, a good matchup there. Bobby Roode improving performance skills, Crazy Steve improving Rumble. You're going to get a few negatives there, but I feel like it benefited a lot of guys there that could have used overness, the likes of Crazy Steve, potentially James Storm as well. Next up in a superb matchup, we had Fergal Devitt defeat MVP in 9:46 for Brainbuster. Just giving the champ a match, he hasn't had much action, keeping his momentum up. That's a B81. Fergal with an 85 performance to MVP 60. No skill improvements, but overall a solid matchup. This leads to a kind of backstage kind of confrontation where Fergal's coming back, EC3's coming out, and obviously it looks like they're going to go one-on-one again for the title. So a B82, they don't come to blows because EC3 is a potentially dangerous match coming up next. And that matchup has great wrestling and good heat, and it sees EC3 defeat Bobby Lashley in 14:51 with the Sweet Meat Sizzler. This is following interference for the Miracle Mike Bennett. A B81's a very good performance though. Lashley with a 71. EC3 gets a good bit of momentum with an 80, and it continues the storyline between the Machine, the Miracle, and the Destroyer, and it gains it some heat. EC3 improving performance skills, Bobby Lashley improving technical, and overall a good win there for EC3 and a very good show for TNA. And we end the show, we're brought to the back, cages come down, him and Mike Bennett are booting the crap out of Bobby Lashley. Rey Mysterio comes to make the save, obviously that's the way it's been recently, and it's an all-out four-man brawl up the ramp to the back to end the show. So it looks like we're going to have some sort of matchup with these four individuals again. C-57. Brian Cage is getting better his gimmick, however he was underwhelming here. And the performance of Bobby Lashley was fantastic. No skill improvements. Overall, pretty happy with that. And it gives us a B80. We increase our pop in all the regions we're televised in. You can see we've got a rough idea where we want to go. Again, getting over maybe 5 or 6 key storylines. Some will get over next week, some will maybe address on the night of Against All Odds, but as long as we're getting some main talents over, some talents of the future over, then hopefully we can only improve. the company. That's what's going to be. It's just getting as many superstars in a good position, so when we do get to national, we can just continue to get better. Really struck gold with the show, that's good to see. Former TNA star Sanada has changed his style. Apart from that, not a lot to add. Takahashi needs time to heal, that's fine. He should be on I think he's on a written deal now, so his schedule. He isn't on a written deal, right? So he won't be on a limited schedule, but we'll still use him anyway to put other people over. Drug test was 4K and a 4.15 TV rating, which I believe is our highest. So continuing to be on the good momentum we're on, still making money, prestige at a good level. As I say, the size, we're slowly ticking in some places getting to 60. Once we get to 60, we start looking to get all the way up to national. So not much to add, as I say, it's just another show ticking over. We've obviously got 4 or 5 storylines going ahead and going really well. It's just really a case of making it a good show here, good show against all odds. That'll build up Victory Road, and then it's a massive build up for something mega, hopefully, at TNA lockdown. So I'm going to end it there, guys. Thanks for watching, it's deeply appreciated. Starting to get back into the swing of things with the schedule again. As I say, the first week at work, just adjusting to that and trying to fit everything else in, just left my body absolutely fatigued. So that and FM Canuck didn't help the TW playtime, never mind stuff like recording and stuff like that, and actually thinking creatively about storylines. Hopefully we'll be jamming going forward. So I say thanks always for watching. As I say, any comments are always deeply appreciated regarding this save, regarding your own saves, how you're finding the game. As I say, we're now 6 months into the game cycle. You know, if you still got the same passion for it as you did at the start, let us know what your thoughts are on that. And as I say, any shares, likes, all that jazz, subscriptions, all deeply appreciated. As I say, if you want to get involved yourself in the whole TW YouTube shebang, then all I would recommend is jumping on the Fantasy Booker subreddit. A lot of great guys over there. Definitely a lot of content over there, so check the guys' stuff out. There's so many guys that I could be here until next episode. Getting people over. I say definitely check them out. There's so many guys there. And the same with the the Grey Dog software forums, official forums for the game. You get a lot of people just talking about their saves, but also a very good Dynasty section with a lot of guys who either do videos or do really phenomenal written pieces on their fantasy booking on TW. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. It's deeply appreciated, and hopefully I'll see you next time for the go home show towards Against All Odds 2017. Bye bye.